Okay, third grade. Today we are going to create our artwork concentrating on our element of art, space, which is creating an illusion of depth with artist's tricks. So those tricks, one of them that is super important is going to be our horizon line. That divides our sky from our ground, or whatever is below our sky. It could be water, it could be ground. Now, our horizon line also helps us determine the background, which is far, 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 far away. And our foreground is on the bottom of our paper, near us, or it looks close to the viewer. Okay? So you guys are going to create this cool desert scene, and I'm going to have you start with your white piece of paper and a pencil. Now I'm going to draw in marker so that you can see it, okay? But you are going to draw with me. We are going to make a super cool desert scene that tricks our eyes and uses an illusion to make it look like we can jump in our picture and walk back, way back to the distance, okay? So the first thing we need to do is we're going to come pretty high on our paper, and we want maybe a finger's length from the top. You're just going to give yourself a little bit of a horizontal line. It does not have to be perfectly straight. And on that line, we are going to give ourselves a little dot. That's called our vanishing point. So anything that gets close to that point, it almost vanishes from our eyes. You can't see it anymore because it's so far away. All right, so I'm going to bring my line from that vanishing point down off of my paper, and I'm going to do the same thing over here from that vanishing point. Now, when it comes down off of my paper, third grade, look how wide it is. We want a really wide area down here at the bottom of our lines. Up here near our vanishing point, it's super close together, almost touching, like a capital A, but it's a little more slanted. Okay, now we are going to start to add items to our landscape that look large, medium, and small. So remember when we talked about our block and bubble letters, and I had you guys draw out the letter? So maybe like say the letter T. You are stopped and watching right now. Stopped and watching. So as we practice drawing something like a cactus, if you start with the letter T and just give it a little bit of a vertical, like almost like a goalpost or a light pole or something. Now, if I draw around this original line without touching it, I'm going to get a pretty good cactus. Now remember, there are no two cactus alike. They're just somewhat kind of sort of like that. So you could just draw it regular without that line. Some little arms might be short. Some might be really tall and thin. They are all different. Okay? So as we are drawing these on our paper, if you just want to draw a very light little guide like this, you can, and then come back to it when I finish so you'll have a little more time. but I'm not going to slow down so that our video can keep going, okay? So our cactus, our first one, we want to position low on our paper. So I'm going to start the bottom of that cactus at the bottom of my paper. Now my cactus, look, let's get my pencil over here. My cactus, I'm going to make it as big as this pencil. It's going to almost come up to my horizon line. It is going to be very, very big, very tall. So the bottom of it is at the bottom of my paper. And my one arm can come up that middle part, and then, oh, I'm on the edge of the paper. There we go. So that cactus is big, really big, tall. Okay, that's my largest one. That is closest to the viewer, looking like it's in the foreground. Now my next cactus, we can sort of look at this area like it's the middle of our artwork, the middle ground. So I can draw a little cactus here. It's about a medium size. He's not quite so big. But back here in my very far, far, far away background near my horizon line, it's going to be the farthest point, near that vanishing point where things start to vanish from eyesight. So back here, I've got to draw my little cactus super, super, super tiny. I could even draw more than one. Now, this is our base. So we want to absolutely positively have these things. Horizon line, vanishing point, two lines that are our 1 point perspective, and you're going to have three items like our cactus: large and low, medium in the middle, and super, super, super small far back in the distance. So now what we're going to do is add details and extras to continue to make our eyes believe that there is an illusion of space or depth in our picture. Like we can jump in it and walk back. So let's start by doing some little things that might overlap. So we might have some rocks behind our cactus friends. So my rock is going to come down, bump into my cactus, jump over it. You guys know our bump and jump. And I might even have one behind that one. Yep, I might have another one behind this one too. So the more overlap you give, that creates that illusion as well. So back here, our rocks are super tiny, very small. In the distance. Okay, now let's give ourselves the lines of our road. Usually that really pops it out for us. So we want to start with our little dashes that are going to be a little bit long and far apart, and then they're going to be shorter, a little closer together, shorter, a little closer together, and eventually towards this top and near the horizon line, I'm just going to make little dots that just almost get on top of each other. So that really starts to give your eyes a wow. That's awesome. And we can add some little mountains back here. My mountains are just a wiggle wobble line, guys. No right or wrong about this. You can have curvy mountains, you can have a little bit of a jagged line. Some might be bigger and wider, some might be taller, but they're not super huge. So we want to keep them on the smaller side, remember? Because they are back there in the distance. And our brain knows that a mountain is much, much bigger than a cactus, right? But right now, our brain is being tricked by what our eyes see. So we want to keep that trickery up to keep making our illusion work. Okay, so when we're close to something, this is another trick, we're going to see a lot of detail. So on this first front to us foreground cactus, guess what we're going to see? We're definitely going to see maybe a little flower on that cactus, all their little spikes that happen. So with pencil, don't worry about this. You guys can wait on the little spikes. You don't need to double draw. Okay, so just remember detail, detail, detail in this very first one. And we're not going to really see a lot of that detail the same way in the other cactus that are going back. So let me just get these guys done. Okay, now this one you might just have little dots. I don't even know if you're really going to see that. But we can add it just for fun. And then back here, nope, nothing. Okay, now we might have a little friend coming across the road, if you want to have a little friend across the road. You guys are going to be able to start adding your own fun to your scene. If there's something you want to add, you can. Let's get our sky. This really helps our eyes when we add this little detail. Watch this. So up here at the very top of your paper, I'm going to add a larger poofy cloud. Okay. Now, when we get in that middle area, that cloud's going to be a little bit smaller. Then when we get down here close to these mountains, oh, our clouds are super, super small. Super small. They are tiny. Okay, so that is a super illusion to help us as well. So now we have an illusion up high, and then we have it on the ground. So it really starts to trick our eyes. Awesome. Okay. So if there is something else you guys want to put, I've seen some fun different desert animals. I've seen a little sign that says, you know, a town this way, or whatever your imagination wants to add, you can. And today, that's probably going to be as far as you get, because now you guys, you've drawn in pencil, but now you are going to go back over it with your permanent marker or a black crayon to get it like this one, this example, as almost like a coloring page. So you guys have created your drawing, and you will go back over it with your Sharpie or crayon, okay? And then that's where we stop today. You guys will keep it in a safe place. I will let you know when we submit. It might not be finished. You guys might need to submit a in progress picture, and then I'll see it again when it's finished, okay? So I do not want you to color anything. So you are stopping at this point today, okay? And I hope you guys add some other details along the way. And please, please remember one little tricky trick. When you are drawing those cactus, if they are along the roadside or out here in the land, please don't tilt those cactus on their sides. We do not want anything tilted sideways. We want them straight up and down like you're drawing a letter. Remember when I first brought out my whiteboard and I drew the letter T? So you guys, your brains know how to draw a T on a piece of paper to be straight. So we want to use that. So if you guys just draw that T so that it's straight up and down and not slanted. Sometimes I see my artists draw like this and they tilt whatever they're drawing on their side. We don't want to do that. We want it straight up and down so that that trunk of whatever you're drawing, cactus, tree, light pole, fence post, whatever it is, it's going to be exactly parallel to the edge of your paper. And that way you know it's going to look right in its perspective. Okay? I know these are going to be awesome. Super job, you guys. And hope you have fun.